Welcome to MarcusG.TV. I'm Chef Marcus Guiliano.
I'm Jamie.
I was letting you do your line before I finish my line. Not that we really have rehearsed lines.
No. It's just funny.
So we're shooting in the restaurant today.
Yes.
And we're talking about 10 foods that are banned
In other countries.
But
Not banned in the U.S.
not banned in the U.S. You know, it's the way the system works is we make the crap. The other countries realize that it's crap.
They reject the crap.
They reject the crap. But we, the companies in America have too much political influence, and we can still eat the crap. And it's unannounced to us that it's crap, like GMOs.
Well, they're not going to tell you. They want you to buy it.
They want you to buy it. They want you to buy it.
They're not going to let us know about it.
The rest of the world can just say, screw you, we don't want your crap, America. But America, you can eat it yourself.
Right.
You know? And I almost think that there's a connection between the insurance companies and medical, big pharma and everything, because they're going to sell you something that makes you sick. Then they have the drugs to treat you, and they have the doctors and everything. Right. They have all the healthcare set up. They have the insurance companies that come in. It's like this whole big runaround scam.
Cycle. It's a cycle. We go from one place to the other, to the other, to the other, and then it cycles around, because then you have another problem, and you have to go through all the cycle, and then around and around. And
as people go bankrupt, as our medical bills go up, as our insurance rates go up, as everything keeps going up in price, and it's a ludicrous, ridiculous system. So, what are we doing?
We're talking about preservatives, BHA and BHT.
Right.
Before I say these names, I'm going to say I might not say them correctly.
You're going to butcher them, and they're hard.
I might butcher them because they're hard words to say. But we're eating them, so
yes.
That's the scary part.
See, that's, just to back up, this is part of our 10 video series, 10 foods that are banned in other countries, but still permissible in the U.S.
Yes.
Right now we're reading off of Dr. Mercola's website, but this was all over the internet. So, BHA and BHT.
Butylated hydroxanosol, which is BHA, and BHT, butylated hydrotoluene?
Yeah.
They are commonly used preservatives that can be found in breakfast cereals, nut mixes, chewing gum, butter spread, meat, dehydrated potatoes, and beer. Just to name a few.
Now, I've seen it all over in ingredients. I've even seen it in cat food and dog food.
Oh.
Not that we have pets, but I've seen it.
Right.
Because people often ask me when I go to their house or something, oh, what would you feed your dog if you had a dog, right? So I look at ingredients as people, think that we're the experts on all this, and it's not that we're the experts on all this. We're just conscious.
Well, we're conscious and we're trying to educate. I think that's the biggest thing.
If you're conscious about stuff, you're going to say, well, what is this in my food? What is this my doctor's talking about? You're going to go back and do some research yourself and say, oh, I don't know if I want to consume that, and because we don't want to consume certain things,
right, because
we've done a little bit of research on it. People just assume we're the experts, and I guess we know a little bit about it because we have done some research.
Yes. So BHA is known to cause cancer in rats and may be a cancer-causing agent in humans as well. In fact, according to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services National Toxicology Program's 2011 report on carcinogens, BHA is reasonably anticipated to be a human carcinogen. It may also trigger allergic reactions and hyperactivity, while BHT can cause organ systems toxicity.
Beautiful. So, we wonder why our pets get, talking about pet this and pet food, we wonder why our pets get cancer and our pets, because animals, they say a dog's life is, 7 years to a human, right? 1 to 7, because dogs and cats, they go through generations much quicker. So they get older much quicker. So they get the effects of the toxins that are in their food and in their environment much quicker. So in 10 years, that we would be 70. A dog is 10. The dog is going to come up with cancer. We wouldn't come up with it until we were 70 if we were a dog's life, right? So these animals, this is why they do tests in rats, because rats reproduce so quickly. So they can safely say, or theoretically say, that because the rats will show the symptoms much, much earlier than humans. So they're kind of like making the correlation that this is why they test in rats. So that's, when you always hear, in lab rats and tested in rats, that's why they're testing it in rats.
Excellent. So this preservative, BHA and BHT, it's banned in the UK. The UK doesn't allow BHA in infant foods. BHA and BHT are also banned in parts of the European Union and Japan. So it's pretty scary that this is out there. I mean, again, it goes back to reading the labels, knowing what you're putting into your body, and staying away from things that you don't know. If you don't know what it is, and if you don't know what it's going to do to you, and if it's not a real food, don't eat it.
Now, I didn't know about beer.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. We're going to have to...
That was a new one for me, was the beer. Now, here's the tough part about beer. Now, I don't drink beer much. I love beer. I love a good IPA. I love a good stout. I love a good porter. I love beer. As you can probably tell me by naming off these styles of beer.
Yes.
But I don't partake. If I have one beer a month, that's probably it, right? Maybe two, if that's the case. And it's only, I never will just drink a beer to drink a beer. It has to be a special occasion where somebody goes, oh, Marcus, I brought you this special beer. Why don't you try it? Why don't we share it? Or if we get something new on tap,
right.
I'll take a little bit, because we own a restaurant. I'll take a little bit and put it in a glass and try it.
Chemicals or these preservatives are listed on the bottles.
That's what I was getting to.
Right?
They're not.
They're not.
That's the tricky part.
I wonder where that comes into play with the FDA, right? The Food and Drug Administration.
Food and Drug Administration.
I'm interested in beer and wine. I mean, obviously beer more so.
I'm interested too, because I'm assuming that all these microbrews, craft brews, are not using it, but I would be assuming that the big guys are using it.
I mean, it's a preservative, so it makes it last longer.
Makes it last longer. I think it's for really coloring,
okay.
Discoloring, coloring. I think is really where it's mainly used.
Okay.
But it's not. I would assume that the big guys are using it in the beer, and the small guys aren't. But who knows? Who knows at this point, right?
Yeah, and maybe even the brewers don't even know what they're using, right? They just buy this because they're told you have to put this in here and there. I'd be interested.
It could be part of buying hops. It could be buying grains. It could be in. I don't think that's the case, but you never know. Like, some people assume that when you buy like organic eggs from your neighbor, my neighbor has organic eggs. They're great, but they're buying inorganic feed. They're buying rancid feed. They're buying feed that's been treated.
They might be raising it organically.
So people just assume that because something is supposedly organic or supposedly natural, but they haven't taken to the effect what the supplier has actually done to it. Like your neighbor's chickens, on laying down the she has all these great chicken eggs. You don't know what she's feeding her chickens. They might be running around her yard. They might look happy, but at nighttime when she goes to feed them, what's she feeding them? So same thing in the beer, or these other companies are buying ingredients, but every ingredient they're buying can't be perishable. It has to be preserved somehow to a certain extent, or stabilized or something. I know every ingredient is not stabilized, but certain ingredients have to be stabilized for manufacturers to use them. So I need to do some research on beer and find out which beers actually have this. But other than that, you have to read labels, because I've seen BHA and BHT in a lot of foods.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting there.
And I'm shocked. I'm really shocked. The simplest things, and cereal is one of the big ones. So,
check your food, check your labels.
Read labels.
And watch for these things that are banned.
Watch for
in other
these,
countries.
and watch for everything that if you can't pronounce it, don't eat it. Don't eat it. That's simple as that. You can pronounce an apple. You can pronounce banana. You walk into the store, that's what you get. Hopefully you're buying organic, and that's what you're getting. But I've even seen this in hummus before, because we love hummus, and hummus is like our go-to food when we're out and about.
And we can't find something healthy, we'll go towards hummus.
Or if we're traveling. We travel, we go stay, because we go on a lot of conferences. The first thing we do is go to a grocery store, preferably a Whole Foods type natural. But I'm really interested now. Next time we go to a Whole Foods, I want to see if I can find BHA or BHT in any packages at Whole Foods.
Interesting.
Because just because you're going to a health food store doesn't mean
it's healthy.
It
Watch the packages.
And
organic doesn't always mean healthy too.
The bigger the store, the worse off you are.
Because they don't have time to investigate all the ingredients.
It's corporately run, a lot of those stores, and it's just, when people go to a health food store, I tell them, if you want to go to a health food store, you go to a health food store where the owner's there, and the owner is running the store, and the owner's doing it for a love of passion, not for a love of profit.
Right.
Because chances are that owner, with the passion, is putting stuff in the shelves that he would eat himself, and he's highly educated, and he'll help you, or she will help you. he or she will help you make the best decisions on what you're going to eat and why the person's brought that food in. But when you go to some of these big, huge stores, and Whole Foods has done a great job in a lot of standards, but Whole Foods is dropping the ball left and right on a lot of things, like GMOs.
They've grown very quickly, and they're very, they're big, and they have a lot of brands and a lot of things to research out before they bring them in. And each store, right, also has some buying power.
I think so.
In terms of local and that kind of stuff, and I'm sure that they're not investigating every single little thing.
Well, hopefully that's where they shine on buying local stuff. Because when we go to Whole Foods, we find like local hummuses from the region and the area.
Well, but they might still have things in it that might not be part of their mission overall. So
right.
Be careful. Don't always assume.
Don't always assume, because that local hummus maker can be using GMO canola oil.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
So I'm Chef Marcus Guiliano.
And Jamie.
Read, read, and read.
Have a great day. Click like, subscribe, and pass it along.
Thanks.